From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fairbanks Evening News.
Hello and welcome to the Fairbanks Evening News. Today is Friday, November 15th. I'm Skylar Evans.
And I'm Stephanie Woodard. Thanks for joining us. Leading our newscast tonight. A black gold transport vehicle slid off the Richardson Highway and rolled into the ditch this morning at about 8:40 near milepost 301 just south of Birch Lake. The truck was driving northbound at the time with a full load of ore from Mount Show Mine, which dumped from both trailers. The driver was not injured and no other vehicles were involved in the crash. Black Gold Transport says the ore, which was still in its natural rock state, will be recovered completely and processed as normal. Alaska State Troopers say that the highway was closed for 1 hour while Salcha Fire and Rescue responded to help recover the truck from the ditch. Troopers say that no citations have been currently issued and the investigation is ongoing.
The Alaska court system is sending out 8,000 jury summons over the next few weeks and issuing a warning about jury duty scams. Scammers often threaten arrest for missing jury duty or demand payment to avoid jail time. The Superior Court judge is reminding Alaskans that jury duty notices typically arrive by email or mail and no one will be arrested for failing to appear.
This is the way the court system sends out a request for you to serve as a juror. We don't call you, we don't ask for money, we don't threaten you with jail, those types of things. We will send you an email based upon information we get from the PFT list.
President-elect Donald Trump continues to pick loyalists to fill key positions in his second administration, and last night he announced North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum as his pick for Secretary of the Interior. Burgum's nomination ends any speculation about Alaska Governor Mike Dunleavy moving into that position. Dunleavy's office confirmed he was not in Florida for the president-elect's speech last night. When asked if Dunleavy has spoken with Trump or his transition team about a role in the new administration, like Energy Secretary, a spokesperson said that there's no information to be shared at this time.
But regarding Burgum's appointment, in a statement on X last night, Dunleavy congratulated him, saying, quote, Doug Burgum is a fantastic pick for Secretary of the Interior. Doug's experience as governor of North Dakota and in the private sector will be invaluable in pushing the president's agenda regarding more oil, gas, coal, and critical minerals and rare earths. Alaska stands to benefit greatly with Doug at the helm of the Department of Interior.
An Alaska Airlines flight made an emergency landing at LAX last night after a main gear tire failure. As a precaution, pilots officially declared an emergency landing in order to mobilize extra ground support should it be needed. Alaska Airlines statement said there were 175 passengers and 6 crew members on Flight 309. The aircraft landed safely at 8:10 p.m. and officials said no one was injured. The airline said the incident is a rare occurrence and apologized to its customers. Alaska Airlines also noted that investigation into the cause of the tire malfunction is underway and the aircraft will be pulled from service.
In other news, the Bureau of Land Management finalized a new recreation area management plan today for the 4,700-acre Kastner Glacier area, 40 by 8 miles outside of Delta Junction. The updated plan makes a substantial change to the number of commercial special recreation permits allowed in the area, bumping that number up from a maximum of 4 to a maximum of 15. That type of permit enables businesses and organizations to use public land or waters for commercial purposes. BLM says the increase is a response to growing interest from commercial groups and tours at the popular hiking and recreation spot.
A proposed pilot program would arm 3 of Tanana Chief Conference's 14 village public safety officers. The program came before TCC's full board of directors for their consideration yesterday and today at the Westmark Hotel in Fairbanks. TCC is one of 10 VPSO state contractors statewide. 9 of them are nonprofit corporations, with the other being the Northwest Arctic Borough. Arming VPSOs became illegal in 2014, and in April of this year, the Northwest Arctic Borough became the first organization to arm a VPSO since 2015. TCC says executing their new pilot program would require updating 12 of their existing policies and cost about $20,000. Tribal delegates treated the idea with gravity, weighing the public safety advantages of firearms against the possibility for misuse.
This is a big deal for the organization, I think, with now, knowing that For instance, you have liability that's going to be involved, and also people's lives, not only the officers, but people out there in the rural areas.
Multiple delegates said they'd like to postpone the passage of the pilot program so that they could take more time to consult with their respective councils, and the board of directors ultimately decided to delay the vote until their annual meeting in March, when the program will appear on the agenda as a new resolution.
All right, now we are going to head to break, but coming up, we look at some small changes with a big impact. A West Valley program aiming to make the school less wasteful. We'll be right back.
This edition of News Center Fairbanks.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Today is National Recycling Day, and a group of students at West Valley High School are getting into the spirit this week with a program designed to make their school less wasteful. Alex Bengal caught up with the group earlier this week as they celebrated a milestone in their years-long effort.
On Monday, 6 students from West Valley High School gathered with their advisor and members of the community at the Central Recycling Facility to witness the fruits of their labor.
It's gone really well. These students are highly motivated.
Their task? To step up West Valley's recycling game.
The goal is to really spread awareness of kind of like the steps that students can do to help recycle and kind of help reduce the amount of waste that could otherwise be going back into reusable products from going straight to the landfill.
Using a dumpster provided by Golden Heart Waste Management and funding through Explore Fairbanks, these members of the Climate Defense League are better able to gather more materials for recycling at their school.
We've been able to expand our recycling program from paper and cardboard to aluminum and plastic, and we've also been given access to a large dumpster that's being emptied.
The effort involved collecting recycling from around the school and sorting it, activities that are often completed during an advisory period.
All of the teachers have been really receptive to the program, and most of the students have been too.
This recycling load represents a month's work for the students. All told, the haul weighed 500 pounds.
It's showing all this waste that we're diverting and instead turning towards good.
For the group's co-president, this represents a triumph years in the making.
We want to do what we can to kind of spread awareness about how the school district could be sending this stuff straight to the recycling center instead of all of it going to the landfill.
And the program at West Valley is only expected to get bigger. If this pilot program succeeds, there are plans to move it to more schools across the district.
We're going to collect the data and see where we're at and see if this could be expanded district-wide.
We're hoping that the school district's going to look at it and decide that recycling is definitely a positive thing for them to start doing in all the schools.
For now, the students maintain their commitment to keep the momentum going.
It's definitely been a really fun program, and it's been really cool to be able to see the difference that we've been able to make in our school and in our community.
I'm Alex Bengal, reporting for News Center Fairbanks.
For the third year in a row, a large gathering of families congregated at Weller Elementary School yesterday to celebrate Native American Heritage Month with a fiddle dance and moose stew dinner. It's an event that came to existence through a partnership with the Alaska Native Education Department. The Alaska Native Education team helped bring in performers and has assisted with teaching dances to the kids each year.
It was great. We had 2 classes at a time in the gym, and they all kind of warmed up together, and then the natives helped us kind of shift the dances and make them easy enough for our kids to do, and then they kind of supported us those first 2 weeks when we did it our first year, and it was so great. Like, it was busy on the dance floor during the dance, and all the elders were there, and it was so awesome. And then this year we did it only for a week, and it seemed a lot smoother because we hit it so hard last year, and it's just great. Like, now our dance floor is full the whole time we do the fiddle dance. It's awesome.
And the event was packed, as was the parking lot, as dozens of families came out to take part in dances as well as dinner. The 4-member band played music from 5 to 7 p.m. and kids were able to get out on the dance floor in groups as the school staff helped guide them through various dances that, of course, they'd practiced earlier in the week. All right, this is my favorite part of the show.
Well, you can take it.
Aw, thanks. Tonight, does anybody out there know, is Dateline night. I love a good Dateline Friday, okay? That's my thing. And tonight focuses on a case nationally known as, oh my gosh, the Black Swan. I'm a ballerina too. But I'm not. a mean ballerina. So let's go to Andrea so she can tell you about it.
It takes grace, strength, and passion to make it as a ballerina. 29-year-old Ashley Benefield had all that, plus the perfect partner to share her dreams.
He was a star athlete, a friend to everybody.
They're the most in love couple I think I've ever met in my life.
But one warm autumn night, a frantic 911 call came in from Lakewood Ranch. 59-year-old Doug Benefield was bleeding on the bedroom floor. First responders rushed him to the hospital. Left behind 4 bullet casings and a love story that had spiraled out of control.
Every time I thought, this is the craziest thing I've ever heard, then I would hear something else.
I've already seen that one.
Well,
I've already seen that one.
I'm very curious.
Well, you should watch it. I'll watch it again. I've already seen it.
All right. That'll be here at 9 on KTVF. In the meantime, we're going to head to break, and Alex Johnson is up next with the Middle of the Bench Sports Report.
The Community Calendar is brought to you by Blanchard Family Funeral Home.
The UAF Women's...
Welcome back and thanks for joining us. I'm Alex Johnson. It's time for the Middle of the Bench Sports Report covering all the action from around the interior. The Nanox rifle team was represented this past week at the 2024 FISU World University Championship shooting event in India. Sarah Karasova of the Nanox represented the Czech Republic from November 9th to the 13th and posted strong outings in the small bore 3-position event and air rifle. UAF rifle coach Will Ante said, quote, Sarah represented herself, the Czech Republic, and UAF really well in India. Her small bore match was phenomenal. She led for large portions of the match and dominated in kneeling. To end third in the qualification round amongst the best in the world and numerous Olympians and World Cup medalists is a great accomplishment. Sarah always seems to shine brightest in the most pressure-packed matches. Most importantly, Sarah was pleased with the progress she's seen in the event. She's been working really hard in practice, especially in kneeling and standing, and her confidence continues to grow in those areas. Her first event at the World University Championship was the 50-meter 3-position women's discipline event. In the qualification round, Karasova finished third, firing a 5.89 with 35 on top of that for the score to qualify for the finals. She posted a 199 score in kneeling, a 198 in prone, and 192 in standing. In the finals, Karasova placed 6th overall, firing a final score of 418.8. Thanks to her score in the 50-millimeter 3-position, she led Team Czechia to a gold medal. Her 2 teammates, Veronika Blazikova and Katarina Stefankova, fired scores of 587 and 580 to tally a total team score of 1756. That team score bested India and Germany as India took silver with a team score of 1,755 and Germany took bronze with a team score of 1,754. In air rifle, Karasova fired a score of 623.8, good for a 30th place finish. Definitely nice seeing that. As rifle usually does, they dominate on most of the world stage, but Alaska cross-country runner Rosie Fordham was announced as the USTF CCCA Division II West Region's Women's Runner of the Year. This marks the first regional Runner of the Year honor of her career. Fordham's most recent outing saw the senior out of Sydney, Australia, take first in the NCAA D2 West Regional last Saturday. Her time of 19 minutes 52.68 was the fastest ever finished by a GNAC runner at the regional meet, and she finished 14.16 seconds ahead of her teammate Kendall Kramer in second. Additional highlights from her season came at the GNAC Championships when she took runner-up honors at the Lewis crossover when she finished 4th among all runners. Fordham also won the blue and gold meet versus Alaska Anchorage earlier in the season, finishing 1 second ahead of Kramer and a full minute ahead of the rest of the runners with a time of 21 minutes, 59 seconds. Fordham and the rest of the Nooks are looking to finish strong at the NCAA D2 Championships, where they will compete on Saturday, November 23rd at the Arcade Creek Cross Country Course in Sacramento, California. And on that note, that'll do it for the Middle of the Bench Sports Report tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone, but don't go anywhere. We'll have a full weather forecast with Amanda after the break, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for more sports.
I am blind, but I need not.
Welcome back and thanks for joining us. Let's go ahead and take a look at the almanac for today. We saw 12 degrees as our high, sunrise 9:29 a.m., sunset 3:42 p.m., total daylight 6 hours and 13 minutes, which was about 6 minutes and 29 seconds less than yesterday. Taking a look at our records for today. We saw temperatures in the low 40s for the high. 42 was a record high in 1961. The record low was 35 below in 2011. And the average high is 12.4 degrees and the average low is 3.9 degrees below zero. Taking a look at our satellite and radar for Alaska, well, there's a lot of much different than what we saw yesterday. That system in the Bering Sea that was making landfall on the Yukon-Kuskokwim Delta has lost some momentum, but it's still moving east, and it's going to be affecting the Alaska Peninsula and definitely south central and eventually the interior by this weekend. But the west coast, we saw some light to moderate snowfall, and it's persist across the western interior through Saturday. And it's going to drop an additional 2 to 3 inches with the highest amounts between Holy Cross and McGrath. For the north slope, winds are going to become more northeasterly and increase today into Saturday, allowing for sea effect snow showers and somewhat warmer temperatures. Pretty much the same story that we've been seeing all week long. South Central is going to be seeing some snow pretty much until Sunday. And it's going to be not a lot of accumulation, but they're going to be seeing at least some continuous accumulation until about Sunday, when they're going to get a bit of a reprieve. For the Panhandle, they're going to see some moderate to heavy rain, and then it's going to lose some momentum and dissipate by Sunday as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we were seeing earlier today in the interior, some scattered snow showers, but we're going to see a little bit more of that tomorrow, as we're going to see some increasing clouds tonight. And speaking of that, let's go ahead and take a look at tonight, tomorrow, and tomorrow night. Tonight, we are going to see 1 degree above zero and some snow likely, and then tomorrow we're going to see 8 degrees and some snow likely as well. And then tomorrow night we are going to see temperatures around 1 below and snow likely. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the extended forecast so we can see what is going on for the weekend. Well, we're seeing some slightly cooler temperatures than what we were seeing yesterday. But that's all right. We're going to see some snow likely tomorrow and then some partly sunny skies on Sunday. And when we see that sun, that means we see cold temperatures, and that's what we're going to be seeing on Monday and Tuesday. 9 below and 8 below are the highs for Monday and Tuesday, but check out those lows. 17 below on Sunday, 27 below. That's going to be the coolest forecasted overnight low for the week. I think it's going to warm up to a balmy 15 below zero, and then we're going to eventually get back above 0 with 8 above on Wednesday and 13 and 15 on Thursday and Friday. With those Thursday and Friday, we could see some snow as well. There's about a 20 to 30% chance of seeing some snow on Thursday and Friday. And I kind of peeked at the 10-day forecast, and I think we're going to see some even warmer temperatures for not this weekend, but the next weekend. And like I said, overnight lows are going to range for this week single digits above zero down to 27 below on Monday. But like I always say, it doesn't matter the temperatures or the conditions. It is always beautiful in the interior.
Thank you so much, Amanda. And it is a little shocking to see that negative 27, but we'll make our way through it. We always do here in Fairbanks. Now, before we go, folks, sometimes I find myself in the interesting position of news involving the news itself. As you may have heard, News Center Fairbanks is joining forces with Alaska's News Source, our sister station in Anchorage, to bring you news from across Alaska. The newly combined news team will continue to bring you wonderful broadcasts and important information about our state and Fairbanks community, but that does mean that my time at this desk is coming to a close. For those of you watching who have invited me onto your computers, your phones, and television sets, who brought me into your workplaces, homes, and lives, thank you. I've loved my time with this station over the last year and a half. It's been more than a job, it's been a way to connect and tell the stories that matter most to our community. There's a poem by Mary Tallmountain which says that in the Athabascan language, there's no word for goodbye. Goodbye implies permanence, where the separation is not for good because we still remain connected in spirit. I've lived in Fairbanks my entire life and I'm not leaving our community. I'll see many of you out and about and I'll always look forward to seeing you again. So instead of saying goodbye, I'll say tla. See you again. For my final time, let me say thank you, as always, for joining us at News Center Fairbanks, and good night.